Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Danganronpa. Let's continue. So, I assume a murder has to happen soon here. We spent the entire last episode just using all the free time we could hanging out with Chihiro. If that's not the
Ahem.
case.
School announcement, school
Hmm.
announcement.
Like, it would have been really, really weird had they simply made made us go through like an entire week. And in all fairness, I kind of feel like that is what Persona is, and there certainly have been some other games where you've had a schedule where you would go through an entire week, potentially with free time. Um, and at a certain level, Danganronpa might be making a good argument as it's kind of copying from the Persona series that perhaps some of the elements in the Persona series, are a little bit repetitive and unnecessary. There's been also plenty other just lower, lesser known visual novels where you would have different days, morning, afternoon, evening, and only at specific times would scheduled events actually happen, and the rest of the time you have to just figure out what you want to do, whether it's hang out with somebody or study or build up some kind of skill. They've simplified it here because all you can really do is hang out with people, and by only being able to hang out with people, then that's how you get skills.
Nighttime is quickly approaching, but before it arrives,
Hmm. So Monokuma's going to say something different,
all
obviously.
students, please gather in the
Hmm.
gym immediately. Emergency!
Hmm.
Emergency!
Gather in the gym. Why now all of a sudden? Really don't like the sound of this. I have a terrible feeling. Also, I guess because we know that we have to gather in the gym, there probably will never be another murder in the gym. Like there was one we had already seen. So just kind of run around this way. Let's see what they say if we click on this. I have a bad feeling about this. I better get it over and go with the gym. Like, this is another scenario where, honestly, they should just force us into a conversation with Kyoko here and then force us to the gym or talk to other people. Oh, Kyoko, did you hear the announcement just now?
Indeed.
Yes. I don't want to go, but we don't have any other choice, right?
Right.
I can't imagine it's going to be good news, but it's not a good idea to find him here and now.
Goodbye.
So I'm going ahead. Really can't do anything except for what Monokuma tells me. So yeah, there's incidental conversations that could easily have just been walk and talk. I also really would have liked to be able to go in here and check out the sauna just to make sure there aren't two dead bodies of Mondo and Taka and that they've been like replaced with robots. Um, because they certainly were acting different with a bromance after that whole sauna competition they had.
Yo.
Hey man, you about to head in? Yeah. Has everyone already gone on ahead? Looks
Shit.
that way. I don't like it, but nothing's gonna come from ignoring that goddamn bear. For a second there, I thought we were gonna have a whole conversation without him cussing, but even his little conversation prompts, his little sounds he makes is mostly cussing. Mondo, I show you're okay. You kind of went all out in that sauna.
What?
Huh? Who went all out? That poop doesn't even faze me.
Yo.
But you know, there at the edge of hell, a promise between men was waiting for me. Never saw it coming.
Yo.
Anyway, let's get our butts into the gym. So Mondo and Taka um, must have made some kind of agreement or come to some sort of arrangement. Man, something unique must have happened between the two of them. Let's just double check the map here. There's now nobody in here, according to the map, which I wonder if it is canonical that the e-handbooks tell people where people are. Probably not, because that wouldn't make a lot of sense as far as the whole murder game aspect. If you could simply have two people always looking at the map on their handbook, always making notes about where people are, and creating like a permanent log of the system. Like that would be fairly crazy. Let's see here. There's nothing. And then we can see Hifumi is in here. Entryway. And I don't even think we can look at the second floor. They often just remove entire floors that we've already seen if you can't interact with them, which goes to just highlight how much linearity there is when they want there to be linearity. Still not really worth it, I think, at this point to click on things, so let's just talk to people. Hey, Hifumi, how come you haven't gone in yet? Well,
Why is that?
Mr. Naegi, don't scare me like that. Sorry, but we really should go inside. No, don't go. You can't go. That's what my ghost friend is telling me. I don't feel good about it either, but we can't ignore this. Damn, that's true too. I guess we have no choice. I have to go too. So it almost feels like what would have happened if I hadn't talked to those people. Would they have not shown up? Would they have been later? Would that really have affected anything at all? Probably not. Asking us together all of a sudden like this, what could he possibly want? Indeed, what might await us this time? He keeps things interesting, that's for certain. How is that funny? Can you smile like a normal person once in a while? Like how the housewife on a classic TV show smiles at the end of an episode? Wonder what that is a direct reference to.
What the heck?
Unless that's just like a generic reference. There's something totally messed up with you if you can laugh at a time like this. Which of us is actually messed up?
Huh?
What's that supposed to mean? Nothing in particular, just admiring, that's all. I don't want to kill anyone, but I also don't want to stay here, living in blind denial day after day. I was just admiring how you could live like that and still keep your sanity.
What is this?
I'm not in denial. That reminds me. Remember how you kept talking about how the police or whoever would come help us? How'd that turn out? It seems to me there's no sign whatsoever of possible rescue.
Well,
That's just...
huh?
I wonder what actually happened.
Certainly.
It's strange, that's true. There's no way the police wouldn't have known about it. We're right in the middle of a major urban area. The police suck. Yeah, Japanese people really wouldn't say that. On the contrary, the mastermind may just be that powerful to take control even of the police.
Could it be?
Or, this might not be related, but... then don't say it. Nope, gonna say it. So, are we supposed to realize that somebody is missing? Because I haven't seen Chihiro yet, but... there might be somebody else missing too. I haven't seen Taka either. Have I?
It's not like some occult mystery.
It was about last night. I was near the main hall, just staring off into space, when all of a sudden, I heard it.
Huh?
You heard what? There's Chihiro. A sound. I don't really know what it was. There's Taka. So everybody's here, I think. What kind of sound? Well, like I said, I really don't know. But if I had to describe it, it was like a construction site, I guess. A construction site?
Serious.
I mean, I could just be making that up. I only just barely heard anything. Then you definitely made it up. Must have just been the sound of the ocean in that head of yours. Say what? What you talking about, Toko? Now we have custom animation again. Which this custom animation could have been used multiple times. Certainly all they would have to do is change who is standing in the foreground. He's arrived. What Hiro heard wasn't the sound of construction, but it could have been an explosion. Huh? Or maybe a machine gun. Pure, pure, pure. That kind of sounds, that can kind of sound like construction in a way. What are you talking about? Ah, ha ha. Beyond that point, my mouth is zipped. My lips are sealed. I'm fully puckered. I don't think that means what he thinks it means. And again, maybe in Japanese that means they would have not gone in that direction, but they have here. It's a secret, little secret. In fairness, though, I think it is worth mentioning that one of the things that I think middle schoolers and elementary schoolers like to do to play around with their co-students and teachers is they'll take both hands and make like a L shape with both hands clasped together and then try and poke people in the butt. Most foreigners would call that very weird sexual harassment, and yet it's kind of tradition in Japan. So yeah, like there's no accounting for different cultures. There's all kinds of weirdness in every culture once you take a step out of it and start realizing things. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of these weird sexualized jokes make a lot more sense in their native Japanese, and to the point when the localization team went to localize them, it made sense to localize them that way. And honestly, I don't think this game would be better suited had a more Western localization team been in charge and they tried to make it a like American high school with American kids and make everything make sense to Americans more. Because at the core of it, you've still got a teddy bear that's a robot, and the story is still ridiculous. You've still got a Japanese high school that's going to have little things like the jumping hurdles in the background right now. You're going to have public bathing and saunas, and that's not going to make sense in an American school. Moving on, it's a secret, little secret. Fine. Then let's move on to what you can tell us. Why did you call us all here?
Say what?
You don't beat around the old bush, do you? Ready for me to get to the point, huh?
If you please.
But before that, if you mind if I vent a little? I'm low on energy these days. My stitching even looks loose, like it's losing its shine and luster. I'm thinking it's probably it's probably become, I think that should be because of this ho-hum, boring, everyday life. I wonder if, like, it would be kind of crazy to think that a typo like that, or become, should be because, is some indication of a bigger mystery, and you should take big notes of that. It almost certainly is just a typo. I'm looking for something with a little more stimulation, something rife with danger and intrigue.
Yep.
Listen, can I just be frank?
Today.
The next Blackened hasn't showed up yet, and I'm getting bored.
Hey,
So I've decided to come up with a new way to motivate you. So yeah, he won't let you live peacefully. Now, which does get back to the argument that they should just all lie to him and say, we've all agreed to give up and give up on any hope of ever leaving this school, and we're just going to live here in harmony together. You said that was the other option. We're going to take that other option. Then he probably at that point will stop maybe would stop trying to motivate people to murder, which his motivation his efforts to motivate people to murder have succeeded somewhat so far. So he's decent at it. Motivate. Is this another set of videos or something? And then we flash back to the videos, which it's been so long we've kind of forgot about that. Are you going to show us some demented thing to try and drive us all to murder? Drive you to murder? What a mean thing to say. Just awful.
You hear me?
I don't know what you've got planned, but we're not going to kill each other anymore. No matter what you do, I swear to God we won't. Capital G, God. Which in Japanese, I mean, there's a small Catholic / Christian percentage of Japanese, but otherwise it would be Shintoism and Buddhism. I don't think too many people swear to Buddha. That's very big talk. Do your very best to back it up, okay? Now then, with your permission, let me begin. So this time it's embarrassing memories and secrets. As long as you're alive, it's a given that there's things you don't want other people to know about you. So I did a little investigation of my own, and I dug up some of your darkest secrets.
And those embarrassing memories and secrets are all contained in the envelopes I have right here.
This is basically the exact same scenario as before. You can just hoist this on the petard immediately by saying everybody just read out their embarrassing secrets to everybody else, and then he can't use it against us. And one hopes that everybody's embarrassing memory and secrets are about as embarrassing. I mean, they're all high schoolers, can't be that embarrassing, really. Or if he's gonna hand those to people, you could just say, all right, let's just all burn these right now in front of everybody, and then nobody will ever find out about them.
I'm going to hand them out now, so take a second to take a peek.
Although I guess at a certain point, if you burn the cards, that doesn't stop Monokuma from repeating them out loud or just saying what's in them. As Monokuma spoke, he tossed the envelopes at our feet. I quickly snatched the envelope with my name written on it and nervously pulled out what was written inside, and my entire body suddenly went rigid. It'd be interesting to know what a normal student like Makoto's embarrassing memory or secret would be. Makoto wet the bed until he was in 5th grade. Yeah, it's not really that bad. Like, really. Yeah. 5th grade's a little late, but whatever. Just give that no power whatsoever and just say it out loud. What? How? How'd you find out about this? Everyone had started talking at once. You have 24 hours. If someone doesn't become the Blackened by then, all of your deepest and darkest, most embarrassing secrets will be exposed to the world. Maybe I'll roll by a crowded intersection in a van strapped with loudspeakers and spill the beans. Interesting. Well, how would he let you see the outcome of that? If he was gonna go outside the school to yell it to the whole world. I mean, honestly, if you went to bed till you're 15, you can easily just say, well, obviously that was a physical thing, not a choice. It's hardly. It would be much more embarrassment if they said if the secret was up until 5th grade, he intentionally would stand up and pee on the bed, and instead of using a toilet. Now that it would be slightly more embarrassing because you made an actual mental choice there, but you could just say, hey, I was a little crazy when I was a kid. And particularly the whole like wetting yourself or like pooping yourself, it kind of never stops as much as adults pretend like it does. Like you get a good decade, 2, maybe 3 between the age of oh, I'd say about 12 to, uh, oh, I'd say maybe 42. And then, but even in that, you probably, as an adult, get drunk and wet yourself or get sick and poop yourself. I mean, these things happen. And then by the time you're reaching your old age, incontinence just comes back because your body just failing down. So, yeah. It gets overemphasized in TVs quite a lot. In fact, it's a straight up cliche that if you want to show a little kid, and it almost always is a little boy, if you want to show a little boy is scared, they'll have him pee his pants in a movie or TV show, and it's just such a cliche. Moving on. Yeah, wouldn't that be so embarrassing? Of course, these are Japanese people too, so any amount of embarrassment is multiplied by 100 in their minds. So this is what you meant by motivate. Yep, you got it. They're all pretty unpleasant, trust me. None of you want me to reveal that stuff, right? It's definitely something I'd rather people not know, but we never kill over something like that. Which, yeah, so unless somebody else has, well, tit for tat, the only embarrassing secret that you could possibly have on anybody is that they've already murdered somebody. And if somebody in this group had already murdered somebody, then it's kind of questionable why they didn't do it again. Because, yeah, you're not going to create a bigger sin or embarrassment by killing somebody just to protect yourself over something smaller. Let's say one of them embezzled $1 million or robbed a bank, or yeah, I mean, maybe treason. You might kill to protect yourself against evidence of committing treason, but like anything else just escalates it. It's that old saying, the cover up is always worse than the crime. That's almost always the case. What'd you say?
Count on it.
He's right. Your plan is doomed to fail. No one's gonna murder someone for this kind of thing.
This is kind of depressing.
Oh no. Is it because, for better or worse, your memory is still a way to connect to the outside world? I have stuff I wouldn't want anyone to know, no matter what. So I assumed you'd all be the same. Interesting that Monokuma would have memories that he didn't want people to know. Which is why I put so much effort into preparing this next motive. Man, you're saying you really won't kill each other over this stuff? That just sucks. Well, what can you do? Okay then, in 24 hours, where'd I get 50 from? I'll expose all your secrets just to make myself feel a little better.
Okay.
So sad, so depressed. Fare not well. With an almost convincing look of depressed dejection on his face, Monokuma receded into the gym's depths.
So,
I didn't know what to expect at first, but maybe we dodged a bullet on this one. I mean, yeah, having those secrets revealed is going to be totally embarrassing, but that's seriously not enough to give someone a reason to kill, right?
Listen to me.
Good news, everyone. I have a brilliant idea. Why don't we just all confess those secrets in the envelope right here and now?
Without a doubt.
If we do that, and all the motive for murder will vanish, that's a pretty smart, right?
Quiet down and listen.
Okay, so my embarrassing thing is, I don't want to hear your stupid story. What? Besides, I don't want to talk about it. I don't care what anyone says. I don't want to talk about mine.
as for me,
Neither do I. Not because it is unpleasant, but because it is impossible.
Oh?
Well, it's just human nature to want to hear it when you say it's impossible. Come on, it'll be good for you. Absolutely not.
Come on.
It's okay, just a little bit. Come on.
honestly,
As I said.
Here we go.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I said I don't want to talk about it, you human bag of lard. And yeah, if you're gonna have a character scream, that definitely should be a line that potentially would have been voiced. It would be an interesting attempt, certainly, to have voice a game when people are just screaming at people. Yeah. I agree with them. There's no need to discuss it. What do you think, Chihiro? I'm sorry. I really don't want to talk about it right now. But I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later. After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone. I don't know why they need to ask more people. After Toko had said she wasn't going to talk about her embarrassment, that concept was thrown out the window. If you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. I'm not super excited to talk about it either.
That's true.
If anyone's that much against it, even if my bro's the one that suggested, I gotta say no. Well, that's okay then. Either way, it's just a few secrets. I'm sure nobody's about to kill anybody over it. I hope you're right, thinks Makoto. A secret so bad you'd kill someone to keep it. Honestly, it would have probably been smarter if the thought patterns were up at the top. That would clip off people's heads, but you could just bounce down the people to make room, or just clip off their head. But yeah, if the thinking text were somewhere different, then that would help a little bit more than just the color things. I imagine if somebody was playing this and they were colorblind, they might have a decent trouble telling when something is a thought and when things are spoken. Or they could have just, changed the outline of the background a little bit to look like a thought bubble. Nobody's got something like that, right? Okay, I'll stop with all the secret talk, but each of us has 24 hours to get ready. Having our secrets exposed isn't going to be fun, but it's not like we're going to die because of it. So, don't do anything hasty. The way you keep repeating it kind of makes me worry even more. Oh, okay, sorry. I know it's going to be tough, but... The thing here, too, is like, secrets get exposed to the world is what he's threatening, and that may not be anywhere as bad or as the secrets being exposed to other teenagers. In particular, it's not like any of these teenagers, if they were able to escape, would probably ever want to talk to each other ever again anyways, so they'd probably always go their own way, and I doubt any of these people would care about the other people's secrets to expose them. It's kind of nice that they pointed out that Monokuma basically took over the school, because it would be very weird if this is exactly how Hope's Peak Academy, which they haven't even said the name of the school in a while, works, and that there had been like CEOs of businesses and politicians who had gone through the exact same thing that's happening now, and they survived. It couldn't really work that way, because having like a class of 15 and eliminating 14 of them every semester or year would be like not enough people graduating.
Soon the doors to the dining hall will be locked, and entry at that point is strictly prohibited. Okay then, sweet dreams, everyone. Good night, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bug bite.
It's funny how many times he says the exact same thing to make you think it's recorded. Then you had one time where he said something different. Nighttime already, huh? Okay, let's call it a day.
Of course.
Good idea. We need to prepare for tomorrow. This is like the first time Sakura has even has even talked in this conversation. Yeah, there's still far too many people in the group, but I think that's going to be fixed fairly quickly here. I was left with an anxiety I couldn't shake, but we left things as they were and left things as they lay. One by one, we headed back to our rooms. Secrets or memories you don't want anyone to know about. A way to connect to the outside world. Honestly, all that crap Monokuma was spouting didn't have any effect on me. There's no way anyone would kill over stuff like that. At least that's what I thought. But maybe I was just being optimistic. And see, sometimes we get these lines of dialogue that are prophetic or from a, like, flashback perspective or a flash forward perspective. And we probably don't need this dialogue, which is probably why, without too much of a struggle, geez, I'm more tired than usual. Super tired today. I fell asleep. But what I didn't know is that even then a tragedy was taking place. Yeah, do we really need that narration? No. We're back to Monokuma Theater. Now we have a gun. Hey, do you have a second? I want to confide in you. It's about the prevailing world attitude right now. The difference between passive and active, I mean. For example, it's the difference between, like, oops, I killed him, and yeah, that's right, I killed him. Amazing. There's tons of people who don't understand the difference. Can you believe it? But there's a huge difference between oops and that's right. You know what I'm saying, right? Anyone can kill someone in the heat of the moment, but surprisingly few can do it with calculated intent. To make that choice, then put it into action, it's way harder than just letting your emotions lead you. It's all about preparation, resolve. So maybe you're wondering what's the point I'm trying to make.
Well, I'm not totally sure myself. Maybe you should try reading between the lines.
Reading between the lines? See, now that would be really weird if there was a game where they had such a unique font that they could have two lines of text, and if you looked at the negative space between the two lines of text, there actually was something written there. That would have to be a very, very weird font. It'd have to be like there was some kind of vine or ivy connecting each line, and so you can have many, many breaks. Or the two lines would have to be almost directly on top of each other. Looking at this right now, that clearly does not look like that's the case. And frankly, that's just too smart of an idea for Danganronpa. ... Morning? Question mark. Good morning.
Good morning!
So we're woken up by Monokuma in our room, which he doesn't seem to respect your privacy any, instead of an announcement. What? Oh, nice reaction. I'm glad to see you didn't disappoint. What are you doing here?
Yep.
I wanted to spice things up, so instead of a school announcement, I decided to wake you up in person. What the heck for? Because it's fun. And so long as I'm here, I'd figure I'd let you hear it right from the bear's mouth. Hear what? Are you sure you should be acting this laid back? I mean, even though something happened to one of your buddy classmates? What?
Say what?
What? Your face is all blue, like something on the verge of death. What happened? What are you talking about? Phew, that's for me to know and you to find out. Good luck. Something's happened to someone. Is it? Was it? No, it can't be. There's no way someone would. But what if? No, what ifs are pointless, especially now when... The dining hall. I need to get to the dining hall. It's possibly a little unfair for him to tell maybe just Makoto that something has happened, or tell everybody that something has happened individually, because that would give somebody a few more minutes, a few more seconds to investigate than the other people. Although I guess they're investigating as a team in a group effort more than they're investigating individually. I don't see great benefits for one person knowing something and not sharing it with the rest of the group. Ah, Makoto, are you okay?
Hey.
Did Monokuma talk to you too? Well, also though, there could be multiple Monokumas since we've already seen one blow up. and be replaced. So he could have sent a different Monokuma to each of the people. So at the very least, that would mean that there are at least 6 Monokumas, because we see 5 people plus Makoto in this room. Hiro, Hina, Sakura, and Byakuya. You're the only ones here? Where's everyone else? They're either off trying to verify what Monokuma said, or they've fallen victim to that something that Monokuma mentioned. The something.
Perhaps.
It can't be. Has it happened again? Murder? After hearing what Monokuma had to say, the worst possible possibility forced its way into my mind. It took everything I had to drive that thought away. So something really did happen. Does that mean someone did it because of what happened yesterday? It can't be. That stuff was just a bunch of old memories. Just old memories? Don't be so sure about that. Clearly someone felt it was more important than that. Huh. To judge someone else's values based on your own outlook, do you realize how dangerous that is?
What the heck?
What? Why didn't you say something yesterday?
Naturally.
Did you already forget? This isn't a co-op game. It's every man for himself. See, Byakuya's got it totally wrong. It really is a cooperational game in this case. What good does it do me to go out of my way to help you? Well, because people are going to get tired of your BS and vote you as the killer, and B, without your help, if you are so smart, the rest of the group may vote the wrong killer, and then you'll get murdered anyways. You have your own life on the line, so you should be helping the group as much as possible.
Just the worst.
Stop saying that already. There's something wrong with him, for serious. Did he get brainwashed or something?
Wait.
That's not important. What matters right now is that we find out what happened. You know what? There is something to this idea that they got brainwashed. Like, Byakuya kind of became a bookworm and an isolationist when he didn't show up for that first meeting after the chapter 1, and then Taiko and the biker gang guy are acting weird and different also. I wouldn't even put it past some of the other characters to start acting weird and different. Maybe that's because each chapter is maybe written differently by maybe even different people. I doubt that. That doesn't feel like what a Japanese development team would do. They'd almost certainly have one person writing the entire story and all the characters. Plus, yeah, I think it would only be too crazy of a red herring if people started getting brainwashed and acting differently because of it. What matters right now is we find out what happened.
That's fine.
She's right. Let's all split up and begin looking. The game is afoot. Okay. So we are now in the realm of saving ourselves some time. Just, I guess, best off leaving here. And then we'll run this way and talk to her.
So,
I knocked on the doors, but nobody answered. Did they all go to see what happened? What about then what about the second floor of the school? That's a place that's new to all of us, so it seems like a natural place for her. ... So that's just like a hint to go that way. Let's talk to Sakura. There doesn't appear to be anything here. What are you doing here, Sakura? Did you find something? Oh no. It's just that when what you said the other day must have been lurking in the back of my mind, huh?
Perhaps.
If something had happened, the killer might try and use this to destroy evidence again. I suppose that was floating around my subconscious and it led me here. Alright, well. So that's 2 people. And nothing in the gym. 2nd floor. Nothing in the gym. 1st floor. You can see he's in the library. He's just immediately gone to the library again. So let's go to this way and fast travel this way. That way we can kind of just run around and find him and talk to him. And then we'll go up to the 2nd floor.
Yo.
Hey Makoto, honestly, what do you think? How about what?
Serious.
About Byakuya? I think he's being brainwashed or what? I don't know. You know more about that thing than me, right? What? What's that supposed to mean? Well, I mean, you're some kind of psychic, right?
Hey.
Listen, Makoto, I think you've completely misunderstood what it is I do. Okay, listen, fortune telling is like... It's totally different from brainwashing and hypnosis or any of that pseudo-scientific bullcrap. Yeah, fortune teller is the real one. I need you to understand that. So you expect me to think fortune teller isn't pseudoscience. Sorry, but I don't want to get yelled at. Okay. So. And see, having conversations like that in this event does kind of make it feel like I should be then rewarded and just allowed to gain some closer relationship with characters when that happens. Unfortunately, the way too much of this game is boiling down to simply kind of the game wanting you to wander around and search the same areas over and over again. And if we're just constantly after each section going to unlock even more and more rooms, then we would have to run around and search even more. Okay. So we can see there's shelf is packed tight with books. The extension cord is missing and the light is off. We never did get in this door, did we? Hey, there's nothing worthwhile over there. It's already checked. I've already checked, so that there can be no mistake. Like I would trust Byakuya. Well, let's just talk to him. I guess that's all we can really do. There's nothing of interest in here, don't you agree? You should go look somewhere else. Okay, well... The game has kind of betrayed us at this point. I mean, as far as the fast travel system is concerned. It wants me to wander around. Now, I have to admit, I know where the story goes next, or at least I think I know where the story goes next, so I think in the interest of saving time, I will just walk directly to that. But for anybody playing this game the first time, I mean, you literally would have had to gone through like every single place until you stumbled into the area that is the right area, and that just seems kind of pointless to force people down that path. But yeah, let's go this way and let's just do it. Huh? The door's open, but aren't these supposed to be locked? So, yeah, this is weird. I guess the doors can be left open. In fact, we're gonna have something that happens here that I'm gonna have to investigate in a second. And there definitely are some rules later on in the story that kind of contradict the way things have been going so far. Ding dong bing bong.
For this investigation, I have unlocked the doors. Please look around to your heart's content.
So we're in investigation mode. Investigation?
It's all clear now.
Just as I thought. Byakuya.
I see.
Judging from what he just said, there's no doubt a murder really has taken place. Come on. And the locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. Wouldn't you agree? Huh? Suspicious? It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room. Was Byakuya going to get himself shot by a machine gun because of this? He was muttering, as if talking only to himself. Without waiting for a reply, he pressed his hand against the girls' locker room door, and the door swung open without a sound. So you can definitely see they painted themselves in a corner by saying boys couldn't go into the girls' locker room. Let's just once again check that regulation. What is this one? Loaning your ebook to another student is strictly prohibited. Is one rule. And so that's the only specific rule. So Monokuma said he would shoot boys if they tried to sneak into the girls' locker room. He pretty much has no thought whatsoever if a girl tried to sneak into the boys' locker room. Certainly the whole co-ed bathrooms and anybody can use a bathroom controversy would be brought up nowadays for a game like this. In that moment, time seemed to freeze. And Chihiro's been murdered. So I knew that much. But here's where it gets awkward, certainly. I do not, for the life of me, remember who did it. So, yeah. I have some thoughts. But I'm going to have to play this with 90% ignorance instead of the 100% ignorance I would have had I not seen somebody else play this game. So I might make some mistakes here. What? I don't know how long it took me to fully comprehend the reality of what I was looking at, but as soon as I did, Makoto, they voice scream. Again, if you're gonna voice Makoto screaming in shock, why not voice Celeste screaming at Hifumi? A wild, almost primitive scream escaped my mouth. I mean, Makoto is like the ultimate siren. Boy's life of despair. Deadly life. So this is like the second half of chapter 2. I tried to suppress my screaming, but it was useless. It surged out of me like water from a spring gushing out of the ground. Byakuya, on the other hand.
Very strange.
Most unusual, don't you think? He was totally calm, almost like he was watching this all unfold on the front of a TV screen.
I see.
And see, her face is like really drawn forward. So, has she been strangled and tied up? Look, Chihiro's corpse has been suspended somehow. And something's been written on the wall in blood. Bloodlust. Which, somebody mentioned Genocide Jack in the first chapter and how he wrote bloodless on the wall and how that was an urban myth. And there was that whole conversation in the first chapter about it, and then it was kind of immediately forgotten and dismissed, and now it seems to be coming back into play. Bloodlust, which probably that was something different in Japanese. Quickly, we need to look and see if there's any way that this could have been something else, and they wrote bloodlust to hide what it said originally. Not in English. I mean, I really don't see. I could see maybe the B being a 3 and then the L being a 1. So it could be 3 1 0 0 and then 1. Does that mean anything at all? I don't think so, because like would Chihiro have been able to use her own blood to write this in the wall in the first place, and then while she was being tied up and murdered? Or was she murdered then tied up after the fact? She's probably murdered then tied up after the fact. Such a brutal way to kill someone. No, this is beyond brutal. Wouldn't you agree? They killed her. How can it not be brutal? No, that's not my point. I think another thing to mention here is I knew Chihiro was gonna die, so I was pushing all of my effort into interacting with her to see if we could get to the max with the 3 or 4 interactions we had with her, and we still didn't even get a single star. So that implies to me either I would have gotten a star had I given her the right gift one time, or there literally are just some people that we cannot get a star with at all now, or maybe all of them. It may be that they really wanted you to play one game where you always hung out with Kiyotaka, and then if you had hung out with him every single time and just been so linear, you would have gotten 1 or 2 stars. But otherwise, that's going to be a no. So I think going forward, we'll probably just try to pick some random people, more random people, and hang out with people at random. I've also been hanging out almost solely with the females as far as the free time. No, that's not my point. This murder is too bizarre for an everyday amateur to have committed it. Unlike with Sayaka, this murder was not a crime of passion or necessity. It's almost as if whoever did this did it for fun. You see what I mean, don't you? What? My head was swimming, and I was still reeling, too confused to understand what he was trying to say. And before I even could begin to clear my head...
What the heck?
Hey, I heard screaming. Did something? Yeah. Ding dong, bing bong. So, we just had a ding dong, bing bong about the doors being open. Now we got another ding dong, bing bong. Monokuma is being very proactive here.
A body has been discovered.
Okay. So, here's a key point. When Makoto found the body of Sayaka, he passed out. So if there was an announcement like this, that the body has been discovered, he would have been passed out at that point and he wouldn't have heard it. However, the fashionista character was killed by Monokuma in front of everyone, and I guess because she was killed in front of everyone by Monokuma, at that point, a body, even though it was discovered, isn't going to get that announcement. Nor was there a need for an investigation to figure out who killed the fashionista character, because obviously it was Monokuma. So yeah, there's just some inconsistencies around this announcement, which is only going to make the story more convoluted later on.
After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
This is not the same announcement and the way class trials started before. What the hell is that?
What?
Oh, that's right. You were unconscious during Sayaka, so you don't know about it. What you just heard was the body discovery announcement. Apparently, when 3 or more people discover a body, an announcement plays to let everyone know. So, in general, that means if Byakuya or Makoto was the killer and they had walked in this room and the other person then could have killed the other person. So like Byakuya could be the killer. He could have led Makoto into this room and killed him, and there wouldn't have been a body announcement because 3 people wouldn't be alive to see Chihiro's body. I feel like I'm saying, oh no, I'm trying to remember people's names, and the number of people is getting smaller and smaller, so that should get easier. But at a certain point, then that does kind of almost make the argument that you could just walk somebody into a room and murder them, and then go find the next person and walk them into a different room and murder them, and eliminate all of your competition. Which, at a certain level, if you did just manage to kill every other person of the group of 15 originally, then nobody could have voted against you, and thus you would have escaped, I assume. I imagine it's so that the search for the culprit can proceed fairly for everyone involved. Proceed fairly. The body discovery announcement, then Chihiro, it really is
Naturally.
dead. Yes. Before you start screaming your head off, go around everyone up. It seems another game has begun. Another life or death game to uncover the killer. I definitely feel like Byakuya feels like he is a Sherlock Holmes type character. Taka bolted out of the locker room. As everyone made their way to the scene, it felt as if no time passed at all. It was like my sense of time had just taken wing and flown away. When I finally came back to myself, I saw everyone had the same look of confusion, fear, and anger. We all just stood there gathered around Chihiro's body.
Damn.
This is a new animation for Sakura. Damn, I couldn't keep her safe. So there's another victim. Which means we are now in the same position once again. F, man. What the F is this? It's a dream. This is a dream. It's all just a dream. If all of this happened in the middle of the night again, then would people have had the opportunity to wash blood off their hands? I think so. Like, A, you could have gone to the bath, which doesn't close at night and is now open, and washed your hands in that water. B, it seems like you could have easily hoarded cups of water or bottles of water. So the whole concept of the water being turned off and not washing away blood seems to more and more just be completely ignored and a pointless thing that was just introduced for chapter 1. It's a dream, this is a dream, it's all just a dream. In fact, I haven't even been born yet. I don't have any memory of ever being alive. Ugh. I think he might be referencing a famous Japanese novel there, but I don't know. Celeste, shut up. Alright, well, we've never been in this room. It does seem like it is just a reflection. So we do kind of need to look for nice coins. So we've got a bloody dumbbell. No, there are more important things to worry about than a dumbbell. Interesting.
Hey.
Wait, look at the wall. Are those letters on the wall? So is it not going to let me get nice coins? Is this Chihiro's blood? No, there's more important things right now, so... There is a camera, oddly, in the girls' room, but I didn't see a camera in the boys' room, or did I? I'll have to go back and look. Master Mang must have been watching when Eschiro was killed. They know what's happening, they're still forcing us to go through with this. Alright, well. So we've got the wall that says Bloodlust. Word Bloodlust is written on the wall. I don't think it's any kind of dying message. It's just too strange. But you know, that thing about bloodlust in blood, doesn't it sound kind of familiar? A murderous fiend who kills again and again using a bizarre and brutal method, and at the scene of the crime, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. They're like a ghost, attacking suddenly and slipping away before the police can catch up to them. And what nickname did the internet give this mysterious serial killer? Genocide Jack. Genocide Jack, the mysterious fiend whose grisly attacks were famous all across the country. The ultimate murderous fiend, creating a reputation of abnormal, downright cruel killings. Then this is some copycat killer trying to imitate Genocide Jack's style. But why would anyone do that? Perhaps it's the work of the real Genocide Jack. The real? What are you saying, Genocide Jack is here in the school?
No way!
There's no way. But going so far as to write bloodlust at the scene, I am surprised at their stupidity. I can't imagine a worse situation than dealing with a stupid murderer. Ah. What is it now? Toko. Hina pointed towards the entrance. Hina was pointing toward the entrance to the girls' locker room. Ah. Toko was last to arrive, and now she was just standing there. ... No. Why? Gadunk. Why? See, this is how you know it was not a native speaking English person, a native English speaker who localized this. Because gadunk is not an onomatopoeia that is in the English language. You would have written the word thunk or thud or smash or crash, something like that. She fainted. That did not sound good. Yeah, you gotta be careful about fainters too. They can definitely hurt themselves as they're fainting. Toko. Hina rushed over to the collapsed Toko and started trying to shake her awake. Toko, are you okay? Come on, wake up. Oh, that's right. I remembered what she said about how she faints anytime she sees blood. Is she a hemophobic? I guess that's blood phobic. Yeah. I imagine she does not watch too many horror films then. This isn't a violation of the rules, right? Technically, she's passed out somewhere besides her room. No, I think it should be okay. The regulations prohibit sleeping, like on purpose. Ah, so since she didn't faint on purpose, it doesn't count. Gotcha.
Just a second.
Toko, can you hear me? You gotta wake up. As if she'd heard her, Toko suddenly shot awake. As in, she literally jumped up from where she was laying. It was with such a strange reaction, I was at a total loss for words. She leapt straight into the air, changing her stance as she did. And now her tongue is sticking out like crazy. In no time flat, she was just standing up. Ignoring the physical contortions she had to go through, her motions were totally haphazard. See, in this, if this was animated, probably would look a lot different than just a tongue sticking out. So, like, you see something like that, you would think she had had a stroke or a seizure or something, but we're going to quickly find out that's not the case. Huh? What? Sorry about that. I was just so shocked, you know. It happens, right? Was I the only one? Toko, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah. Whoa, is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? Yeah.
What the heck?
She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and a back, a top, inning, and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies.
Well,
This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different. No, everything's fine. At least the stutter's all gone. Oh yeah, she's not stuttering anymore either. That's a good thing, right? Yeah.
I see.
It's clear to me that everything is not fine. Your eyes seem strangely vacant. It might be best if we take her back to her room for the time being.
so,
I don't mind taking her, but could someone help me? If you need help, I don't mind. Taka, could you help me? Huh? She totally ignored me. Very well. You take care of the girl. The rest of us can begin the investigation right away. I assume nobody has a problem leaving Sakura and Mondo on guard duty again? Hold on a second. Rushing to an investigation? The mastermind isn't behind that. After what happened last time, surely you realize that. And
Don't make me repeat
there's no
myself.
question that Chihiro was murdered by someone among us. Isn't that right, Monokuma?
Of course.
Right as rain. But don't take it as a bad thing, it's just a fact of life, because that's how graduation works. Then it happened again. Is that what you're saying? That another one of us killed a fellow classmate? What, does that freak you out? You guys got no pulse, you know that. Is there just nothing down there at all? Well, let's pray. I'll let you pray to mine if you want. Actually, I don't have any either. Sorry, see, another just like weird lewd joke into a very weird point.
Stop talking.
Stop monologuing and give us what you came to give us. You did bring it, right? Hee. I sure did, chum.
The Monokuma file.
Allow me to present the next Monokuma file. I know how much you're looking forward to it.
See ya later.
Please do a very tippy top best on this investigation.
no way!
If anything, I feel like this whole scheme is to make somebody the ultimate like murder investigator. Yeah. But it'd be crazy to potentially kill 14 other people just to have one student come out as the ultimate investigator. Do we really gotta do another investigation? Examining the corpse of one of our friends. Having to suspect all our other friends. They keep calling each other friends, but they barely know each other. That seems very Japanese, though. I hate this. I can't take it anymore. I hate it too. I've had enough. I'm getting out of here. Where do you plan on going? There's nowhere to run.
Such ignorance.
Just accept it already. After all, blood is just a liquid. A dead body is a simple object. You're very enthusiastic about all of this, are you not?
Naturally.
How can I not be? If we don't unmask the culprit, we all die. That's true, but to jump into it so soon. What, do you want to die?
Such
Fine, then go off and die somewhere, right now. Go ahead. You're a waste of space. A dead body is an object.
Piece of shit.
Chihiro wasn't an object. Show a little respect, or I'll beat some into you.
Calm down,
Everyone, stop bickering. Listen, there's some truth to what Byakuya said. Kyoko,
because
if we don't solve the mystery and find the killer, our own lives are forfeit. If Byakuya is right that Genocide Jack is somehow the one who killed Chihiro,
that's right.
then unless we do something, more victims could start piling up. Forget more victims. If we mess this up, we're all dead meat.
Hey!
Hold on. If that's your worry, you don't gotta worry any longer. In any one killing game, the guilty party may only kill a maximum of 2 people. So yeah, you can kill 2 people, but if you go for the 3rd, then Monokuma is gonna kill you, I assume. What? I don't remember any rule like that.
Actually,
I just came up with it. Yeah, Monokuma is just making up rules on the fly. I mean, if one person went around and killed everyone, your lovely student life would be all over, right? New rule has been added to the regulations menu.
So then.
What's funny here is then up until this point you could have killed everybody, and then it really makes a question as to if there is a killer like Genocide Jack amongst them, why did he take this long to decide to start killing people anyways? Sakura has another good question that I think is easy to explain when you get down to the last remaining 3 people. In that case, why not limit it to 1 person?
Hey,
Well, in a good mystery, you don't want to miss out on at least the potential of a serial killer angle. No, just one would totally murder that possibility.
punishment is waiting for you.
Very well, for now. I'll catch you guys at the class trial. I can't understand his thinking, but if we can kill up to 2 people, then 1 more person's life could still be in danger. Which is definitely not good. We need to undercover the culprit before something else happens.
You son of a bitch!
We need to shut the F up.
So,
Well, for now, Taka and me are gonna drop Toko off at a room. Nice, I'm gonna get dropped off.
there is nothing to be done.
Well, we have no time to stand around. We must begin our investigation. Toot sweet. If we do not solve the mystery of who killed Chihiro,
Is that okay?
then we will quickly follow her into the afterlife. That's true. I hate this. But if we want to survive, me and everyone else, we have to do it. We don't have any other choice. See, yeah, a lot of setup here to get to something you could have jumped into. It would make more sense if you were writing this as anime episodes. But even then, it seems like you're stretching for time. It almost feels like more like it was a manga originally, and then they were stretching for time because they didn't want to have to. They had a deadline to meet, and they had to fulfill a certain number of pages in each chapter. Which Western comic books, at least thankfully, usually don't have that as a problem, in which they stretch for time and say nothing. Instead, they just are incredibly short at like 15 or 16 pages per issue. And if they fall behind beyond that point, they just are late. Whereas I imagine a Japanese publisher would have a much bigger problem with somebody being late and missing a release date. I guess I'm just gonna have to hit A to see the Monokuma file. Yeah, instead of looking in the menu. The victim was Chihiro Fujisaki. The time of death is estimated to be around 2 a.m. in the middle of the night. The body was discovered in the girls' locker room on the 2nd floor of the school. The cause of the death was a blow to the head with a blunt object. She was killed instantly. That's all it says. Well, it's not like there's any point in complaining about it. No matter what, I've got to do what I've got to do. Monokuma File 2 has been added to your truth bullets section, which we lost all the truth bullets from Chapter 1 because obviously they wouldn't make sense to be in Chapter 2. Hey Makoto, do you have a second? Huh? Did you need something from me?
Naturally.
Of course, life without purpose is quite dull, you know? So what did you need? I'm gonna let you cooperate with me during my investigation, huh?
What?
I'm purchasing your talent. The same talent which allowed you to solve Sayaka's case. Solve? No, you seem to have some limited use, which is why I've chosen you. You will have the honor of contributing to my investigation. So you're inviting me to come with you. You're doing it in the most arrogant way possible, though.
Let's go.
Now then, shall we get started? But we need to get moving. There's no time to be standing around. ... I really don't know what just happened, but it looks like I'll be working with Byakuya on this one. That seems very weird, considering how much he just did not want to interact with you at all. So here we have a dumbbell on the floor and the blood stain. There's blood stain on the dumbbell. Monaco file said a blow to the head with a blunt object. It was what killed her. Does that mean this dumbbell was actually the murder weapon? I don't imagine it could be anything else. Locker room dumbbell. So you kind of have to get all these truth bullets, so you're just kind of forced into gameplay mechanics. Let's talk to everybody first, because last time we did this, we didn't talk to people and we looked at the objects first. Dude had a real complex about being weak. You heard Chihiro talk about it, right? I need to get stronger. Yeah, I do remember she said that once, more than once. Sure did, which is, I guess, explains the trip down here. But did she really need to get stronger that badly? You already mentioned it, but she was a girl after all. Most girls aren't all that strong. I don't know, man. Haven't really thought about that stuff. The cause of Chihiro's complex. I can't help wondering what it might have been. See, we went so deep down the route of her interaction, though. We kind of know a lot more about her than we probably would otherwise. Mondo's account has been added. I feel like Mondo should pretty much leave the scene at this point. I use this locker room all the time. Now it's because it's become the site of Chihiro's death. But why was she killed in the locker room? Actually, if you think about it, she could have been killed somewhere else than carried here. She was very light, that is true. It wouldn't be hard for someone to carry her, but still. I think she came here on her own by choice. What makes you say that? She'd been talking a lot how she wanted to get stronger. So you're saying she came here to exercise? But according to the Monokuma file, apparently she was killed around 2 in the morning. Would she really have been exercising that late?
Perhaps.
Hina and myself are usually in the locker room during the day. She was probably avoiding it then. Avoiding it? Although we invited her to join us more than once, she never showed up. So I can assume she was trying to avoid us. And instead she came exercising in the middle of the night.
However,
perhaps it's difficult for me to imagine she would have come alone. She did want to start exercising, but she specifically mentioned she couldn't do it by herself. She needed support from others. So you're saying she could have come here in the middle of the night to train in secret, but that she also would have come here with someone else. It's a possibility, I think. So we now have Sakura's account. Now I believe it's about time for us to move on. Huh? Already?
what?
New clues won't magically appear by standing around here. We need to check every aspect of the case. That's true, but
Let's go.
if you're satisfied, let's hurry up and proceed. He's so pushy. I got caught up with the wrong person this time. Man, boy do they just love to throw you out of they love to throw you out of areas, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get back in the girls' bed locker room to see if I could get some nice coins. I don't know if it really matters though. So this is our next location. Huh? This place is related to the investigation? Figure it out for yourself. It's no fun if you don't, right? Well, can we go back in this way? We already spent plenty of time in that checking the crime scene. There's plenty of things to check. Alright, well, we've got the card reader is meant to work with our handbooks, right?
What?
Do you have an issue with it? If so, you should take it up with Monokuma. He said that, then quickly sharply clapped his hands together.
Did you call for me?
You called for me? Has he been domesticated?
That's right.
Seems Makoto has a question for you.
Need something?
Sure, what's up? Well, it's just about this card reader.
Yep.
Yes, the card reader has all been designed to interface with each of your e-handbooks. You can only enter the locker corresponding to the gender listed in your individual handbook. It's impossible for 2 people in the row to go through while the door is unlocked, right?
Unbelievable.
If there was some sort of erotic terrorist on the prowl, the ceiling-mounted Gatling gun would initiate a Swiss cheese slaughter. And the school regulations prohibit anyone from lending someone else their handbook, correct? Well, you could still steal somebody's handbook,
Of course.
Correct. Correctly correct. So then, that means only girls can go into the girls' locker room. And only boys can go into the boys' locker room. In other words, Chihiro's body being found in the girls' locker room means... Hey Makoto, I can see right through you. See right through me? Allow me to tell you what you're thinking. Since Chihiro was found in the girls' locker room, and the killer must have been able to get in there.
So, in other words,
As such, the killer must be one of the girls. And did I get it right?
such ignorance.
Good lord, you're simple. But am I wrong? You should pay closer attention to the regulations. The answer has been in front of you the entire time. Loaning your ebook to another student is strictly prohibited. Only the act of loaning a handbook is strictly prohibited. Borrowing someone else's is perfectly fine. Interesting phrase there. I think what he means is taking someone else's is fine. Or stealing someone else's is fine. Because in English, loaning and borrowing are pretty synonymous. With the only way I could see a difference between the word loaning and borrowing is if you were actually charging interest or money to give the handbook to someone else. Or borrowing implies that you're perhaps not charging interest and just promising the return. Nah, I'd expect nothing less from the prodigal son of the noble Togami family. So you managed to sniff out the loophole in the regulations. Knowing you, I'd bet you created it on purpose, didn't you, to add a little more excitement to things. Yeah, you're treating me like a puny little appetizer instead of the main course that I am. Now then, since the dead can't actually talk, they're not people anymore. They're things. Get it? Got it? Good. Wait, hold. You're saying that that's a loophole, but in order to borrow something from someone, that means they would have to loan it. So, so sleepy. Just listening to you makes me want to pass out. Be more like Byakuya and get your poop together, or else I'll charge you with criminal negligence. No more questions. Figure out the rest for your own damn self.
That's fine.
Well, I know you're unfortunately lacking in mental faculties, so I'll fill you in myself. Let's head to the main hall. The main hall. That'll help you understand what's going on. Card reader's been added to your truth bullets. We're gonna go all the way back here. We came to the main hall. So what are you looking for here? ... Does that mean I have to figure it out for myself? These guns are different, certainly, than the other Gatling gun. And the surveillance cameras are different, which is kind of weird. But like the only thing here is the mailbox. There's no mailbox here. Could it be something inside? It's an e-handbook. No wait, there's 3 of them. But what are they doing here? So you finally found them. Huh? Did you know these were here, Byakuya? I happened to find them by chance myself the other day. It seems there's a system in place where the handbooks of dead students get delivered to this mailbox. So then the 3 handbooks belong to Junko, Leon, and Sayaka. Well, at least we know what the mailbox is for. I don't know why they would need to get sent back into the system. Because if you had the handbooks and then the handbooks unlocked the bedrooms, then maybe that would make more sense. But I don't know what information you're really going to get from this at all. Immediately turned on one of the handbooks, and when I did, it's going to say Sayaka. Odds are. Yep. You're right, this is Sayaka's handbook. Now, do you understand? This is the key to the loophole that I revealed earlier. Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to get it. So they had to, in the previous chapter, kill at least one male and one female so that you could get into either room, or at least kill one female to get into the female locker room. You should pay closer attention to the regulations. The answer's been in front of you the entire time. Loaning your ebook and e-handbook to another student is strictly prohibited, but only the acting of loaning is prohibited. Borrowing someone else is perfectly fine. I see, now I understand. Main hall e-handbooks have been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook.
What?
Hold on a second. What's wrong?
Very strange.
This is strange. One of the handbooks won't turn on. Is it broken? Whose is it? The other handbook showed Junko's name when I started it up. Then the one that won't turn on must be Leon's, right?
I see.
Wouldn't make sense, yes. After all, he did get pummeled by dozens and dozens of baseballs. Pummeled with baseballs? Do we really need a flashback to the scene? The memory of it came flooding back. The cruel punishment would led to Leon's death. The execution that the mastermind concocted. A cruel, heartless death. Yeah. It would be fine to make us remember Leon and actually see a picture of him, frankly, because he's been gone for quite a while now. But if you're gonna do this, then the whole game needs to be serious, and we need no more dumb dumb jokes, and we need no more upbeat music. And that's not what we're gonna get. You're right. It wouldn't be surprising for the handbook to break in that kind of assault. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, what? The handbook is an essential to student life here. Crucial, integral, instrumental, and a super big deal. There's no way it would break that easily. But it did. If I say it wouldn't break, it wouldn't freaking break. It can withstand up to 10 tons of pressure, and it's waterproof up to 100 meters, okay? I doubt the pool goes down 100 meters. I don't care how many baseballs you hit it with, it wouldn't do crap. But even my amazing handbook does have one single weak point. It does?
I can't hear
but it's a secret. I just want you to... I don't want you go breaking any more handbooks.
What?
And Leon must have broken it somehow without realizing what its weakness was. Hard to say. You know what I think? I think his handbook isn't actually broken. But you might ask, how could that be? Leaving the question hanging in the air, Monokuma disappeared. What just happened? Monokuma says it's not broken, but it's undeniable fact it's not turning on.
That's fine.
Well, I don't see any connection to the case, so it doesn't matter for now. Do you have to charge these handbooks? I would imagine you do. Do they have like a USB plug or something? You think so? Either way, something about it still bothers me. It's frankly a little unpleasant to get more truth bullets in this scenario, because all that means is that the class trial is going to be longer and more convoluted. Like, I might be much happier if these murder mysteries were smaller and there was only 5 or 6 truth bullets to have to sort through. Okay, this should be enough to get things rolling. Let's begin our investigation in earnest and track down the true culprit. Yeah, we need to find out who killed Chihiro. To be exact, not quite. Huh? Not quite? Alright. So, we are, I guess, just gonna exit this room, or are we gonna talk to him? What do you mean by that, Bianca? To be exact, not quite. Certainly I want to reveal Chihiro's killer, but more precisely, I want to discover the true identity of Genocide Jack. Then you really think? You truly believe Genocide Jack is the one that killed Chihiro?
Don't make me repeat
Absolutely. I have no doubt that Genocide Jack is the culprit of this case. Gotta react to everything. That murderous fiend is Genocide Jack, right? Oh, So maybe that would have said murderous fiend previously. So maybe there is some kind of new game plus where these get filled in and you don't have to react. Also, when I reacted, I heard a coin sound. So did I just potentially unlock some Monokuma tokens that I'll get handed to me at the end of the chapter? Like we could check right now. We're still at 8 Monokuma tokens.
What?
There's nobody else it could be. Murderous fiend who kills again and again using a bizarre and brutal method. They're like a ghost attacking, but suddenly then slipping away before the police can catch up to them. What nickname did the internet give this mysterious killer? Genocide Jack. They say he'd kill thousands of people, but that's gotta be an urban legend. Still, could one of us really be a demented psychotic killer like that? There was definitely some repeated text there that I feel like if I hadn't reacted, I would have just skipped over. And in a weird way, reaction mode might very well be a system for people playing the game a second time. Which, arguably, if that's the case, then they shouldn't have unlocked reaction mode at all in the first playthrough. It should just make you go through the text and then introduce reaction mode on a new game plus. You're not wrong to wonder, but words mean little right now. I have something that will prove it, and I can show it to you. Alright, well. Hold on there, there's still more waiting to be checked. Well, let's look at everything, I guess. This is weird that the game would basically either want us to talk to each other more or look at the mailbox more. Just look up and look down. Yeah, it definitely does seem like we're just supposed to talk to Byakuya.
Don't make me repeat myself.
So let's this time, for the first time, not react. Wow. Oh, there is a whole conversation that we may have missed otherwise. And I have a basis to believe that. I assure you, Genocide Jack is one of us. Alright, let's react to the basis this time. Is there really proof? There's somewhere I'd like to take you. This will provide all the evidence you need.
It's all clear now.
Evidence that Genocide Jack is the one that killed Chihiro. Evidence to something like that, really? Ah, hey you two. Big trouble, we need your help.
I don't have time to play.
We're busy, leave us alone. But it's an emergency. Emergency. Please come, you gotta help me. Interesting. So, reaction mode may have very well blocked branching paths in all previous conversations.
Please.
This is a serious emergency, you gotta come help me. Just calm down, okay, Hina? Because it's an emergency. Let's react to an emergency. Emergency, what happens? Something's wrong with Toko. She's acting super strange. I mean, she was acting pretty strange earlier, right? What should we do, Byakuya?
Very strange.
Since it's Toko, I must admit I'm intrigued. Suppose we can take a second to see what's going on with her. Are you sure?
Don't make me repeat
Don't make.
myself.
Well, don't make me repeat myself by having to read out a line that you're going to say out loud anyways. They almost need a third color palette if they're going to say the line and type it. I didn't expect that. I thought for sure you'd just say no and that'd be the end of it. Okay, come on, hurry. Wait for us, Hina.
Let's go.
It looks like she's headed to the dorms, to Toko's room, most likely. You're right. Alright, so at this point, we've just got 2 people in the dorm, so it's not a great reason to potentially wander around. You guys are too slow. I think you're just too fast. So what's the emergency? Well, after what happened in the girls' locker room, we left Choco in her room so she could lay down. After a while, we came back to check her, and you don't, see how she was doing. But when we did, it was weird. She refused to come out and kept saying all this weird stuff. Weird stuff?
That's fine.
We should try talking to ourselves. Yeah, good idea. Gotta walk a little closer and we'll talk to him. Way up and do it. Alright. Might as well give it a shot. Ding dong. Door swung up slowly and silently. Is she gonna be stuttering again? Her tongue is back in her mouth at least. Dot dot dot. Holy crap. An aura of negativity flowed from behind the door, forcing a gasp out at me.
What?
What?
Oh, nothing. It's just that Hina was really worried about you holding yourself up in your room.
So, I guess this is going to be fully voiced, so we'll just let him talk.
Leave me alone.
So, obviously, this is an important scene if they bother to voice it. Also, a cheaply animated scene. Very little happening here. They just have a stationary image of Toko moving back and forth.
Yeah, sure thing. But could you open up just for a second?
Won't allow it.
She's back to stuttering.
Won't let Genocide Jack have control.
Well, she's talking about Genocide Jack also. Just like that, she slammed the door in my face. What was that? She's acting like that the whole time when I rang a little while ago. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend. It doesn't make any sense, right? I was afraid to leave her in there alone, so I tried to bust down her door. But it felt like something was holding it shut on the other side. I couldn't even budge it. Toko was scared enough to even borrow her door. We can bust down people's doors? Then why haven't we busted down Leon's door or Sayaka's door yet? Like, why haven't we gotten Sakura or Aoi to bust down those doors yet? Seems weird. Does she think the same thing as Byakuya? Does she think the serial killer Genocide Jack really murdered Chihiro? Is that why Toko's so scared? Whatever it is, I'm really worried about her. Isn't there anyone who might be able to persuade her? Well, if anyone's going to persuade her, it's almost certainly Byakuya. So yeah, they're giving us a hint to talk to Byakuya. Hey Byakuya, you think you could ask her to come out of her room, I mean? Dot dot dot.
That's fine.
Sure, whatever. What are you talking? Huh? You're gonna talk to her, Byakuya? Wow, I guess you can be nice when you want to. Dot dot dot. Byakuya stood in front of her door, not making a sound, and pressed the doorbell. Ding dong. After a few moments.
What do you want?
Leave me alone, you're all so annoying. Oh, Bacula. Mispronounced his name.
It's Byakuya.
Byakuya. I'm sorry. I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again. And with that, the door slammed shut. Even Byakuya couldn't pull it off. What promise? There's nothing else we can do. Let's get back to the investigation. Hold on. Hey Byakuya, what was Toko talking about just now? Something about a promise.
What?
Oh, I have no idea. Another one of our delusions, I'm sure. But
Stop talking.
if I say I don't know, that means I don't know. Just let Hina take care of her. Oh yeah, okay. I'll stay here and keep an eye on her.
Let's go.
Well then, let's go. Without waiting for a reply, Byakuya sped away. Sped spelled S-P-E-D? I guess maybe that's how you spell sped. Byakuya. I hurried to catch up. I tried to talk to him several times as we walked. Feels like there should be more conversations as people walk. But he didn't even look back, let alone say anything. He just kept walking toward his destination. Finally, his feet brought him in front of a certain room. The library? Come on, let's go in. Alright, are we supposed to be searching things? Like there's just a lot of stuff going on here. There's no point checking there. We need to find real clues. Knock it off. What does the desk lamp matter right now? So he wants us to go in this room, which we've been disallowed to be in the room up at this point. And I guess if we talked to him, we would know that. The evidence that proves Genocide Jack really... Is the evidence that proves it was Genocide Jack really in the library?
Don't make me repeat myself.
Don't make me say it again. Did he say it the first time? Alright, well, anyways, he wants us to go through this door. If I remember, on the other side of this door, it's the archive, right? How would I know that? I've never been on the other side of this door. I've been blocked each time. Hurry up and go inside. Oh, here?
Let's go.
It all makes sense once you're inside. I don't recall any line of dialogue saying we were in the archive. There are so many books and files. And so much dust, too.
So in other words,
I would say there's enough value in this place to endure the dust. Alright, well, we definitely want to find any Monokuma tokens if we can. Well, this is weird. Because I can't get to the camera. Ah, you have to move it a little bit the other direction. Alright, well. There's books behind him. There's a ton of thick files stuffed in bookshelves. If you're thinking through looking through any of them, let me give you a little warning. Those are filled with graphic, disturbing photos of all kinds of crime scenes. It's the kind of thing any normal person wouldn't ever want to look at. Be careful. Huh, what do you mean? All those files are investigation reports related to different cold cases. They're internal documents for police eyes only. They're not the kind of thing you'd expect to leak. Oh. Alright, well. It's a desk lamp. Oh yes, it's the same one I saw Byakuya using in the library before. Is it, or the true desk lamps?
what?
Do you have a problem with that lamp? It was here before, then I moved it over there. It's too dark over there, so I thought I'd put it to good use. So we have a nice coin, although we see an outlet here and it's not apparently plugged in. You have a sharp eye indeed to select that file, huh?
That's right.
That's a report on a presidential assassination. The original is kept at the National Library. It won't be declassified for another 30 years. Are you sure you want to look at it now? There's no telling whose crosshairs you might wind up in for peeking at it. Without making a sound, I returned it to the shelf. It's a wooden box that's empty. Although judging by the smudges on the dust, it looks like there was something inside. Wonder what that was. There was an extension cord plugged in there. It proved very useful while I was in the library. An extension cord, huh? So the extension cord was in the box. The lamp is here. We have one more shelf we can look at. And maybe we'll get a nice coin. So many files stuffed onto the shelf. What is in all of these things?
Enough.
Those documents are dangerous. Dangerous? They detail all the people who control the world from behind the scenes. Dangerous truth for a commoner. You mean like members of the Diet or something? Not the government. diet. No, I mean the ones with real power. The secret council controlling everything from the shadows. So with Chihiro, her hangout stuff was all about sci-fi and computer AI and stuff like this. Byakuya is taking us down the realm of secret organizations like the Illuminati controlling everything in secret. And yeah, this game does seem like it's just going to go in many, many different directions and have probably quite a few red herrings. If you're ready to be disappeared for it, take a look. There's some very interesting people in there. You're just kidding, right? Am I? I'll just let it go for now. So you're finally beginning to understand the true splendor of this library. So this archive either was filled by Monokuma, or Hope's Peak Academy has like really more information than it should. Like that really wouldn't make a lot of sense for a high school, even the best high school in the entire country of Japan, to have top secret and higher classified documents or things like that. The entire reason I was interested in the library is because of this room right here.
Interesting.
It's home to classified government documents, police records, things no ordinary person would ever see. Isn't it magnificent? This can't be for real, right?
Such ignorance.
That's your guys' problems. Anything that doesn't fit your preconceived reality, you label it a lie. Well, it's not that. It's not like I totally refuse to believe it, but I mean, there's just so much. How could anyone put it all together? I suppose it goes to show just how much power Hope's Peak truly wields, or perhaps the mastermind may have wanted to provide us with enough entertainment to keep us from getting bored. It's no use. I can't keep up with all this. It's just too unreal. What's wrong? You still can't believe it? What about you? How can you believe it so easily? Things like this are usually impossible. What do you mean usually? Usually, normal, ordinary, simple. Those things don't exist anymore in the real world. If you don't understand what they actually represent, you don't understand the nature of anything. You don't pull your punches, do you? Besides, what you consider usual is based on your common sense, right? But what makes you think your own common sense applies to me at all? The documents gathered here are genuine. I've reviewed them multiple times, so there is no doubt. Let's react. Hold on a second. You're saying you read all these documents? More than once? Wow, he must be a speed reader. And he must definitely be now in the crosshairs of many people. But all this has to be like top secret, confidential stuff, right? So why? My family has a reading room just like this in our home. Ours is bigger, of course, and not as dusty. So he basically already knew all this information, huh? Members of the Togami family have access to any variety of government-related documents. That includes foreign powers as well as domestic. How is that possible?
So in other words,
I already told you, there's a secret council that controls the world from the shadows. My family is a member of that council. And I have within me the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. So I guess maybe it's not so much a red herring. But then this certainly opens up an interesting question, is like, if Byakuya is a member of the secret council, and either the secret council is not good enough to save Byakuya and rescue him, or the secret council is doing this to Byakuya, or Monokuma and the mastermind are even more powerful than the secret council is, which just, that would be a scary amount of power at that point. But to become such a ruler, I must know all levels of the world backwards and forwards. So whenever I have time, I like to review whatever documents and materials that interest me, which is why I can proclaim without a doubt that the materials gathered here are the real thing. This is beyond believing or not believing. Byakuya is actually starting to scare me more than the actual mastermind. And what was always interested me most was the cold case police investigation reports. Reading through those reports have always been a hobby of mine ever since I was little. It's excellent mental exercise. I've solved more than a few of those cases just by reviewing the reports. And among all those reports, one of my recent favorites is that of Genocide Jack. As he talked, Byakuya grabbed a specific file from the shelf.
That's right.
This is the complete case file. Every single report surrounding Genocide Jack cases have been compiled in here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin with, there are two notable characteristics in every Genocide Jack murder, which certainly means there could have been more murders done by Genocide Jack that don't have those two characteristics. First characteristic, is that every crime scene, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. And second, is when the victims are murdered, their bodies are suspended in a certain way. Bloodlust is written in blood and the victim's body is suspended. That's exactly what happened to Chihiro. Save your surprise, the best part is yet to come. For the second characteristic, where the victims are suspended. The only ones who knew about this particular fact were members of the police and other higher ups. By all accounts, nobody in the media ever found out. Huh? In other words, no one in the news, no one online, nobody knew about that aspect of each crime. Only key officials and the killer himself knew about this act of mounting the victims. Now, if you recall Chihiro's corpse, her body was most certainly mounted in this fashion. So how could the killer have known about suspending the victim?
That's right.
That's the key question. But in fact, the answer is quite simple.
In other words,
The culprit isn't a copycat killer. It's the real Genocide Jack.
in other words,
That's right. There's evidence that Genocide Jack has hidden himself among the rest of us. Then Genocide Jack really is such a brutal, fiendish killer. Really is walking among us.
interesting.
Things are starting to get interesting, aren't they? I never imagined a killer with such a reputation would even become a part of our little game. Now, don't you think it would be good for you to take a look at what I've already seen? You might just manage to ferret out a clue or two.
Such ignorance.
If you get down on your knees and beg, I might even show you myself. Okay, well, with that, if I can figure out the right menu to go to, let's see. Yeah, I got one Monokuma token. We have 7 truth bullets. Last time there was 14, so we can kind of assume we'll get about that many. About that many this time. Presents wise, we really aren't going to have that many presents unless after this second chapter we're given like 150 or more Monokuma tokens. Report card wise, is there anything? Chihiro's not marked as dead yet. And then like regulation wise, we probably aren't going to get an update on any loopholes. Like here, no update there. So let's just go ahead and save, and we'll just keep on going down this route. Did I save? I think I did. We're in the investigation of the morning, so we might have a nighttime investigation also. And then we're gonna have the class trial, and then we won't be able to save at that point. So yeah, the story is taking its sweet time to go forward, as most visual novels do. But yeah, we're getting towards the mystery. So that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.